The Iowa Democratic Party announced that 100% of precincts were finally reporting results late Thursday night, 72 hours after the state's first-in-the-nation caucuses concluded on Monday, and after numerous irregularities led the head of the Democratic National Committee to call for a complete recanvass.
The state party's numbers showed that Pete Buttigieg would be awarded 564 SDEs, or state delegate equivalents, while Bernie Sanders would receive 562 SDEs. Sanders held a sizable popular vote lead, though, and finished ahead of Buttigieg by a 43,671 to 37,557 vote margin. He fell behind in delegates due to Iowa's unusual voting system that gave different delegate weights to different precincts.
After the second alignment, meaning the popular vote after the elimination of candidates who received less than 15% of the vote in the first round of caucusing, Sanders was still ahead of Buttigieg, 45,826 votes to 43,195.
Nevertheless, as the results posted, Buttigieg was speaking on stage at a CNN town hall, and anchor Chris Cuomo suggested the former South Bend, Indiana, mayor had won the caucuses.
"That is fantastic news," Buttigieg said. "We are looking to New Hampshire and beyond."
But Sanders, minutes earlier and throughout the day, had said he won the race, considering his popular vote advantage.
View the state delegate totals.
The disastrous caucuses drew mockery from President Trump earlier in the day, as he argued in the East Room of the White House that Democrats could not be trusted to run the nation's health care system if they couldn't even count votes in a timely and reliable manner.
Elizabeth Warren finished with 387 SDEs, Joe Biden with 341, Amy Klobuchar with 264, and Andrew Yang with 22. By popular vote, Warren had 32,533 votes after the first round of caucusing and 34,771 after the second. Biden had 26,384 after round 1 and 23,691 after round 2, and Klobuchar had 22,469 after round 1 and 21,181 after round 2. Yang plummeted from 8,821 in the first round to 1,780 in the second.
Those numbers were catastrophic for Biden, who has run his campaign on the notion that he's the most electable candidate. For other candidates, the confusion threatened to overshadow the typical media-driven momentum boost that results from a strong Iowa performance.
Gallup poll shows Trump, GOP approval hitting record highs amid impeachment.
At the same time, it remained unclear whether the results would stand, or whether there could be more changes. DNC head Tom Perez earlier Thursday called for a recanvass of the results of the Iowa caucuses, saying it was needed to assure public confidence after 3 days of apparent technical issues, vote counting irregularities and delays.
"Enough is enough," Perez wrote on Twitter.
Meanwhile, the Associated Press said Thursday it was unable to declare a winner of the Democrats' Iowa caucuses.
The Associated Press calls a race when there is a clear indication of a winner. Because of a tight margin between former Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Senator Bernie Sanders and the irregularities in this year's caucus process, it is not possible to determine a winner at this point, wrote Sally Busby, AP's senior vice president and executive editor.
The caucus crisis was an embarrassing twist after months of promoting Iowa as a chance for Democrats to find some clarity in a jumbled 2020 field. Instead, after a build-up that featured 7 rounds of debates, nearly $1 billion spent nationwide and a year of political jockeying, caucus day ended with no winner and no official results.
Click here to get the Fox News app.
Campaigning in New Hampshire, Sanders called the Iowa Democratic Party's management of the caucuses a screw-up that has been extremely unfair to the candidates and their supporters.
"We've got enough of Iowa," he said later Thursday at a CNN town hall, just before Buttigieg spoke. "I think we should move on to New Hampshire." Fox News' Mitty Hicks and the Associated Press contributed to this report.